Welcome to a special edition of Sports Card ASMR. I'm the Sports Card Doctor. Today, we're going to have a little fun, do things a little differently. But don't you worry, we will start with some crinkles. That's right, baseball card pack crinkles are a special kind of crinkle. The good old 88 score. All right. Here's what we're gonna do today. I've got a classic 87 Topps pack. You know, the ones where you can win a trip to the 1988 spring training. 17 bubblegum cards, 1 stick bubblegum. I'm gonna open up this pack and try to give you a stat or a trivia answer or something about each player. Let's see how well I can do. Will I draw any blanks? Will I remember every player? Let's find out. Look at this. Of course, we're not going to have the gum because I don't have a death wish. Oh, but look at this. Looks a little skeleton face in there. Could this be some kind of spirit from the beyond? Communicating through a stick of gum. Doesn't look like the Virgin Mary. It does look like a little skeleton, like a cross. Skull and bones cross thing. Oh no. This might be like a death card in a tarot pack. I don't know. Alright, anyways. Alright. Let's go into this pack of 87 tops and see what we can talk about here. Alright, first player, John Shelby, pictured here with the Orioles. He was on the 1982 World Series team, or the 83. It was 83 Orioles, Phillies, if I recall. 82 was Cardinals, Brewers, Harveys, Wallbangers. That's right. John Shelby would end up playing with the LA Dodgers. Teddy Higuera was a 20-game winner eventually for the Milwaukee Brewers. A great pitcher in the late 80s into the early 90s. Injuries waylaid his career, but there was a time when getting this card meant your collection was looking good in 1987. Mariano Duncan. Now, I like Mariano Duncan because he'd go later on to play for my New York Yankees. Mariano Duncan, featured here for the LA Dodgers. I do believe he was with the 88 Miracle team. I'm not sure if I remember that correctly, but there you go. Mariano Duncan. Let's look at this here. Mariano never played shortstop prior to 1985. Wow. Good for you, Mariano. Brewer outfielder Mike Felder is up next. Felder was a good utility outfielder during this time, which means he could still hit a baseball farther than I could ever dream. He would go to play for some other teams, but I do remember him mostly as an outfielder here in the late 80s for the Brewers. Jack Clark. Who doesn't remember Jack Clark's 1985 National League Championship Series home run off Dodgers closer Tom Niedenfuhr? Jack Clark would go on to have a season with the New York Yankees, a couple with the Padres. I think he ended up with the Red Sox. Is remembered nowadays for kind of running into some money trouble after the game, but that's just a bad way to look at a legacy of a great slugger in the 80s. Started with the Giants, actually, as an outfielder before going to first base. Look at that. John Cangelosi, speedster, one of the up-and-coming speedsters in the late 80s, was a kind of a Rookie of the Year contender, a future star, and, well, as the look on his face would indicate, it didn't go that way. But he was a good player with great speed in an era where that meant something. Dennis Leonard, a player from another era. That mustache alone, ooh, Goose Gossage-like. And I love that he's got the old garbage bag workout undershirts a lot of players had during the 70s and 80s, and a blue glove to match his blue uniform. Leonard was part of the golden age of the Royals in the 70s. Look at that, 20-game winner in 77, and again 21-game winner in 78, and he'd win 20 more in 1980. Led the league in shutouts with 5 in 1979, had 20 complete games in 1978, 21 complete games in the 77. Read that wrong. Apologies, Dennis Leonard. Frank Viola, one of the best pitchers in the late 80s into the early 90s. He ended up, of course, with the Mets. But Frank Viola, here's a stat about him. I believe, I'm going to double check on the back of the card, that we share the same birth date, April 19th. Let's see if I remember that right. Yep, he was born 4/19/1960. I was born a few years later, but we always celebrated together. Well, he didn't know that, but I did. Spring training fever. Enter it and win. Oh my gosh, look at how lucky we are here. What a pack. This is an 80s power pack of cards. We've got a Topps Gold Cup rookie, Jose Canseco. What can I say about Jose Canseco that you all don't already know? A Bash brother, 40-40. Once had a ball bounce off his head and turn into a home run. Blew his arm out pitching in an inning. May or may not have dated Madonna when that really, truly meant something for both parties. Jose Canseco, what a card, a legend. 33 home runs in 1986, which was something special. Future star, and I, yes, had the 40-40 poster hanging on my wall following the 88 season. Hall of Famer, the Wizard of Oz, Ozzie Smith. What can we say about him that you don't already know? Do you know that he fell into a mystery hole, never to return again? We're talking softball. Todd Worrell, record breaker, most saved season in a season for a rookie. Ooh, was it? I think it was 45 saves, because Dave Righetti had the record for single season saves the same season with 46 saves, later to be busted by Bobby Thigpen, who would get into the 50s. I think Worrell had 45 in 1986. Let's check. Oh, 36 saves. I gave him too much credit. I apologize to all involved, but still a good season for Todd Worrell. Chico Walker. All right. I'm going to admit to y'all right here, don't know a lot about Chico Walker. Very happy for him that he played in the majors, though, because I didn't. Tommy Herr, second baseman for the Cardinals, back when that meant you need to have a good glove and maybe bat 220. But Herr was one of the best, an all-star. I do remember his performance in the 1987 World Series. This is a player that did drive in 110 runs in 1985 with only 8 home runs, batted .302. That is a great year, something you won't really see anymore. Roy Smalley, shortstop for the Twins, started I think in the Yankee system and would for a brief while be an analyst on Baseball Tonight back in the late 80s, early 90s, when someone like Roy Smalley, no disrespect, could get onto TV. Good job there, Roy Smalley. Rangers, I said he came from the Yankees, but started with the Rangers. Twins, and where he ended up again with them before finishing out his career. Luis Salazar, Detroit Tiger at one point. He was a good glove, clutch hitter. I do love, this is not a fact, but I do love this. Very sporty look there. Dan Petrie would finish up with the Angels, part of the Tigers' power pitching rotation in the 84 and 87 playoff teams, of course the 84 World Series team. Dan Petrie, look at that. In 84, 18-game winner. Also, Dan and his wife are parents of his son Matthew. Congratulations. Final card in this pack. I hope you all enjoyed the festivities today. Glenn Hoffman, one of a few people who managed the Dodgers well, third base coach. I think, though, the fact that most stands out about Glenn Hoffman is his younger brother, very younger brother, of course, would be a Florida Marlin infielder turned pitcher, none other than Hall of Famer Trevor Hoffman. Glenn Hoffman, though, got there first. And he was an all-star in American Legion ball. That's great. I wasn't that. Of course, we got the gum stain, and you were told as a kid you get the gun, you take like a sock and maybe damp it, and then you could rub that out. Who doesn't like rubbing out stains? Giggity. All right, there you have it. A special edition of the Sports Card Doctor on Sports Card ASMR. Card facts. Wow. That's it. The pack has been opened.